Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the July 2019 webinar from Win911. My name is Jeremiah, and today we are excited to talk about a new voice notifier. It's going to be an alternative to Tappy. So here's the agenda here. We're going to talk about the Grandstream UCM, that's Unified Call Manager 6202. We'll talk about the system requirements to use this device, do a little bit of a technical overview for it. We also have a voice comparison chart here where we're going to talk about Tappy and VoIP and this Grandstream device that we're introducing. And we'll go into the pricing and a little bit of a configuration demo and finish up with some technical resources and Q&A. Let's get started. All right, so here's the new Grandstream UCM6202. First of all, you do need to know that you have to be running the new software, Win911 3.19.9 or later, and it has to have our Voice Service Pack 1 in there. You are going to need a dedicated analog phone line. This Grandstream device, it supports up to 2, and it is not available with our Win911 version 7 software. So you can see a picture of the device here, the dimensions below. So we have 2 FXO ports on the back, as well as the LAN and WAN ports. It has an LCD screen on the front, and it also has some lights for the display on the front there, that if you plug it into the switch and it's an active port and you have a good connection, those lights are going to light up green for you, as well as the phone lines. When you plug them into the FXO ports, you'll see an indicator on the front that lights up green. All right, so a little bit how this connects and how it goes out. So from Win911, we actually make a connection to this Grandstream device using the Session Initiation Protocol, that's SIP, as a VoIP connection. So from inside Win911, you set it up as though you're connecting to a VoIP server, and that's how we communicate back and forth with it. It obviously has those FXO ports that have the analog line plugged directly into them, and that goes out into the world through the telephone network and eventually to your phone. So here's another one of the displays in the back here. It has the labels of each port, the 2 FXO ports on the far right side of this diagram. Those are the 2 ports that are going to be supported for analog phone lines. You do not need to worry about the FXS ports. Those are irrelevant here. And then a WAN and a LAN port. There is a hard reset button in there. It takes a pin to push that in there and reset it back to factory default. Dedicated 12-volt power supply, and it also has an SD card slot and a USB port. That can be useful for if you want to save the configuration of this, and if you ever want to maybe, get multiple Grandstream devices, you can back up the configuration, throw it on a flash drive, an SD card, pop it into another one, and restore from that backup file. All right, so here's our comparison chart. We're going to just talk about a couple of the differences and some of the benefits mostly of this Grandstream device over Tappy and VoIP. First of all, as we discussed, it is only for the Win911 new software 3.19.9 and higher. That's our interactive and advanced, and you cannot use it on version 7. Virtual environments definitely supported, which is a huge plus for if you're using a virtual machine, whereas a Tappy modem has to be directly plugged into the physical device, a USB port. This also has Ethernet connection, so it can be anywhere in the network. That is a huge plus. It does not have to be directly connected to the device, and it's going to be accessible from anywhere on the network. Supports up to 2 analog phone lines. The Tappy modems, they only have 1, so you're getting a bump up there, and you do not have to have an internet connection whatsoever to get this going. You just have to be on the same network. Since it has 2 ports for the analog phone lines, it supports a maximum of 2 simultaneous calls. The cadence detection here, the Tappy modem and the Grandstream have that, and if you're not familiar with cadence detection, basically that's just the ability to know when the phone is picked up and it's off hook, and it'll be able to tell when that phone line was answered, and that cadence detection will then be able to go to its next step, which would be announcing the alarm with the voice runtime. We do pre-configure this device here at Win911 when you buy it from us, which is a huge plus. The tapping modem is not configured by the user. It is just a basic modem that has no configuration, and you cannot change any of the settings in there. Because it is able to be placed anywhere on the network, it'll support multiple Win911 connections, which means if you have an active and a standby or multiple installations on the network, they can all, as long as they can all connect to this IP address, meaning they're on the same network, they can all be configured to point at it, and failover will be able to point at this as soon as it goes from standby to active, and any redundancy that you have built into the network, again, as long as you can ping it and you're on the same network, they can all point to this device. It does come with a manufacturer warranty of 2 years as well. And then just to reiterate, there's a note there at the bottom. You do have to be on Win911 319.9 with the Service Pack 1 or later. And we do not have this on version 7. So here's the pricing model here. So the tapping modem that we currently sell with the 1 analog phone line support is $350. We're selling the Grandstream UCM6202 for $500, and that is pre-configured by us here at Win911. You can also go to our website, win911.com, and go to the quote builder. You can see a little screenshot there. You just hover over the products tab and go down to build a quote. All right, now I'm just going to do a quick demonstration to show you just how simple this configuration is when you buy it from us. So you're going to go to the IP address of the device right up here, and again, when you plug this in to your switch or your router in the network, wherever you placed it, the IP address that it was given from that switch port is going to pop up on the LCD display. You can then use that to throw in your browser, as you see here, HTTPS, the IP address, and the port that it communicates over is 8089, so you just put the IP colon 8089, and that will get you the GUI interface here. So it does have a default username and password. Username is admin, and each device has a default admin password that's on the sticker on the bottom of the device. I'm going to go ahead and log in here. Okay, so this brings you to the dashboard. Like I said, everything is configured already from Win911, so the only thing you'll have to do when you get it is log in there, go down to System Settings, your Network Settings, and this is where you're going to set your static IP. So if you have a specific IP address that you have set aside, the IT department has reserved that for you. You make sure that this is static for the IP method. That means it's not going to change. If you select DHCP, there's always that possibility that the lease for that IP address is going to expire and it's going to change on you. You don't want that to happen. So static, throw in the IP address, the subnet mask, your default gateway, and your DNS server. That's it. Once you throw that info in there, you can click Save, and it'll ask you if you want to restart the device and apply the changes. Go ahead and click OK there. As it says there, it says please wait for 2 minutes and log in again. It is going to take some time. It just goes through its configuration and saves that to its configuration file. It should automatically go back to the login screen as soon as it finishes this process. If it doesn't go back, you can always just take the last part of this URL off. So you're just going back to the IP colon 8089. And you'll be brought back to the welcome screen with the login. But there you go. As you can see, it goes right. And we will log in with the default credentials again. One other thing to note while you're in here, again, that's it. Right now, you're totally fine to start setting this up in Win911, and you're good to go as long as you have that static IP set. If you want to change the admin password, though, you come in here to Maintenance, User Management, and here's that admin account. That's the super administrator. And you click on this edit button over here, And you can click on change password if you so desire. It'll ask you to put in the original password. That's the default password on the sticker on the bottom of the device. And then you can set your own password. But that is it. Very simple. All right, so the technical resources for this, we already have added the knowledge base articles to our website. So again, go back to win911.com. On the far right side is the support tab. When you hover on that, click on the knowledge base drop down. And when you go to the knowledge base, as you can see here, you type in UCM6202. It'll automatically see that you're looking for the articles that we already posted there, and we have two. One is for the guide for if you purchase it from us, and that is as simple as logging in like we did there and setting the static IP. And there is also a guide that we have created for anybody that has purchased this device outside of Win911. We do have that configuration guide for you as well. All right, thank you.